Hi class, this is a demo for the last project of the term, and it's called the MAP project, and there's going to be about 9 steps, and I'm going to go through the 9 steps with you. And just for your information, I reduced the sizes of everything for the sake of the demo, to make it more efficient. So anyway, these are a little bit smaller than what you'll actually be doing, but you need to draw a minimum of draw a minimum of 2 4-inch by 3-inch thumbnails. And as we've always talked about with thumbnails, the idea is to draw them, fairly quickly. And the idea is to get a lot of different ideas. And if it takes only 2 thumbnails to solve your problems, then that's great. But oftentimes it doesn't work out that way, where you end up ultimately doing a lot of thumbnails because ideas don't seem to come that quickly, or the ideas aren't that good. So if that's the case, then feel free to do more than 2 thumbnails. I guess, professionally, for me, it's not unusual for me to do like 20 thumbnails. It's just the way it is. Because sometimes ideas come very easily to me, and sometimes they don't. And there's nothing worse than going to a sketch stage and a finished stage if you're not happy with your ideas. So, just keep on going until you nail it. And let's see, so this one is the map project. In the foreground, I had like this airplane or jet-like thing flying above what appears to be like runways and roads and stuff like that. And then on this one, this is going to be a spaceship or UFO flying in the foreground. Actually, there's going to be a couple of them, one over here, one over here. And in the background is going to be a map. And I thought with this one, I would try to have a sense of humor to it, or make it a little whimsical. So there's like this alien type thing flying it. I'm going to put another, maybe a UFO over here. And I'm going to put a bridge over here. Maybe another bridge over here. And these bridges are going to be covering a water area. And even though the water area is really tiny, that's going to symbolize like a ocean, or a body of water. And these little things out here, these are going to symbolize like city blocks. And by the way, these bridges are also at an diagonal. So I think I called out for a couple of diagonals in your handouts. And these little indications are going to be roads. Some of them are big roads, some of them are small roads. And this is going to be like a UFO beam. It's kind of like picking up some cows and some people. And going through this pretty quickly, as I should, because it is a thumbnail. And remember, our goal is to do them quickly. And this is going to be the first step of the assignment. Okay. So, looking at them, trying to decide which one I like, and I'm kind of happy with both of them. So I'm just going to stop at the 2, but I am going to choose one right now. And so I think I'm going to go with this guy right here. That one. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video for a second. Okay, so as you can see, I made my selection for the thumbnail that I would like to use. The spaceship is going to be the foreground element, and in the background is going to be the map itself, and the map itself will be analogous colors, and the foreground will be a complement to that analogous color scheme. And I don't know if you remember this, but in my handouts, I'll read it off to you. It says analogous hue, color that is next to another color on the color wheel. Analogous colors are a group of similar hues such as a primary blue and blue-green, or yellow, orange, and orange. And to make it a little bit more clear visually, this is the color wheel that I had done earlier in the semester. Let me try to center it for you. And once again, the entire color wheel. I've chosen to use in the foreground this complementary color scheme to these colors. This red is the complementary to the greens because it's on the opposite side of the color wheel. And for our project, in the foreground element, you know, it could have like a range of different type of reds. You could have black to it or white to it if you want. I'm not going to be that fussy about what it looks like, as long as it feels that you understand what a complementary and analogous looks like on the opposite side of the color wheels. So once again, foreground element, spaceship is going to be in the complementary color scheme using the reds and a variety of reds, by the way. And then on the background will be an analogous color scheme with the greens, this grouping. They're all pretty much similar. And once again, there's going to be like a variety of greens, like light greens and medium greens and dark greens. And you also have the liberty of adding white and black to these as well, if you want to. Okay, so foreground, background, analogous, and the complementary color to what's happening over here. We're going to have a little hunting expedition, and by that I mean that I want you to find examples of your colors that you propose to use in your map project. So in other words, since I'm going for the reds and the greens, I want you to find examples of, if you choose to go with the red and greens, you don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just saying, like for my example, I'm going to go with the red and greens. I want to find examples of those because I want to match those colors when I paint swatches later on. So I was hunting around. All over the place, you know, in my house. And I thought that this might be a good example for reds. There's two different types of reds. This actually has kind of like some black in it. It's been kind of like knocked down in terms of its intensity or saturation. And this one, I'm gonna go. I think this is okay. We could do this, even though it has quite a bit of yellow in there. It's actually by definition more of an orange. But then, like I said, I'm not gonna be that fussy about it. So that would be something that I could consider. I even was looking around in the kitchen, and then I found something like this, a Campbell soup can. I hope you guys could see this. And you can see that it has some reds in there. It's kind of a dark red. Actually, it's almost similar to this red. Maybe this one's a little bit darker. And let's see, what else did I find? Oh, I talked about greens, right? Okay. Found another can. This one has a light green, possibly like medium greens, a darker green right here. So there's at least 3 types of greens that I could use to try to match. At least 3, so that'll be fun. Also, God, I kind of lucked out. There's another red right here, complementary to all of this stuff that's going on. So actually, this is kind of a color scheme that I'm going to be working with in the final matte painting. Let's see, what else did I find? Oh, this is interesting. It's supposed to be it's not a tennis ball. It's one of the toys for my dogs, you know. But anyway, it's got another kind of green right here, which is a little bit different from these guys. So it gives me another variety to mess around with. And it's a CD cover, and it has another kind of green. So I could use that, try to match that one. And let's see, how close are these? Oh, they're pretty, wow, it's amazing. Really close, huh? What else do I have here? Anyway, we are shooting for a minimum of 3 source materials or objects for the foreground and 3 for the background. And if you need to find more, then please find more. You don't have to stop with just the 3 and 3. In fact, what's this? Oh, this is cool. This is kind of a pink, and it's been neutralized with adding a lot of white to it. So I think this is something else that I should definitely consider as trying to match it with my gouache paints. And let's see, I guess that's it. I mean, you know, I think you get the idea of things to look for. Okay, so now I'm going to stop this. So now I'm referring back to my thumbnail, and I'm going with this thumbnail right here. And you can see in the foreground element is going to be like this UFO spaceship, and in the background is the map itself. And I'm asking you students to find reference material for your foreground element. And in this case, it happens to be the UFO or the spaceship. And this, I would consider these to be examples of reference material that could possibly be used as for inspiration for my UFO. And also, there's several right here too. There's actually 1, 2, 3 different things. Actually, something like this might work because it has like that circular shape, and it also has like this kind of like a translucent dome, sort of like this circular shape with the translucent dome. So maybe something like that would be can serve as a reference material or a source of inspiration for myself. Now, for you folks, for you students, anything in the foreground, what could it be? It could be things like a bird, it could be an eagle, it could be a dragon, it could be an airplane, it could be a jet, it could be a satellite, it could be, actually it could be a lot of different things. You know, just have to use your imagination. Like I know if you look in your handouts, some of the past examples were pretty imaginative, like flying fishes, people swinging on swings in the sky, you know, things like that. It's pretty crazy in a nice way. So it's up to you to find the reference material that will help you to execute the drawing so that you feel comfortable with it. Okay. Okay, so I need to start painting matching swatches, trying to match the colors from my source materials. It's part of our, I guess, exercise to showcase your technical abilities on matching paints. So I think in this case, I'm going to start with that one. And I have my palette laid out like usual. And let's see, I'll take some of this red. And maybe add a little water to it for the consistency of heavy cream. And take some scratch paper, test it out, and then see for myself what do I think I have to do to make an adjustment. And to me, it looks like, even though it's still drying, it still seems like this is darker than this one, darker in value. And also, this seems to be a little bit more intense or saturated. This one looks like it's been subdued or knocked down a little bit, possibly with, I'm going to try some black. So I'm going to bring in a little bit. And test it out on my scratch paper. And you notice that I'm painting right on the edge. The reason why I'm doing that is because it's easier for me to see these in comparison with each other when they're side by side. If I painted this like in the middle, like so, I'd have to use my imagination to see if I'm getting accurate colors. So this way it's a little bit better for me. Okay, so yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Maybe I'll make it a tad darker for the demonstration purposes. I'm not going to be perfect, but I just want to move along so you get the idea. And also keep in mind that I'm working at a small scale, smaller than what you students will be doing, just because for demonstration purposes it seems to be more efficient for me to do it this way. Let it dry a little bit. And I think by now you've discovered that gouache paint dries differently in terms of its value from its wet state and its dry state. That's normal. That's something that you're just going to have to get used to as designers and painters. That's how gouache paint behaves. And, you know, but at the same token, same thing happens with acrylic paints, but it dries opposite in terms of its value. Okay, so let's just go with that. I'm going to say that's good enough. Then, let me get this out of the way. And then you can see I already have it laid out a little bit. I'm just going to paint a few swatches. And remember how we needed to have a foreground, what do you call it? Color scheme. And then the background will be an analogous color scheme. And so this row right here will be my foregrounds, and this will be my analogous. And I'm just going to take my gouache paint. These are going to be 1x2s, but in my case, I'm painting them really tiny for efficiency's sake. So just keep in mind that your swatches will be bigger. And like always, you could rotate the brush to get things smoother. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to stop my camera for the time being. Okay, so now I want to paint another swatch, or match the colors first and then paint a swatch. So I'm going to go for something like that. And I took some of the red paint. I had to add some yellow to it. And then I also added some white to it. And let's see what happens. Do a little test mark and place it by there. And let's say that okay, that's good. Let's just say that that's fine. Then move this aside. Let me set this up again for you. And I'm doing my, what do I call that? My foreground color scheme right now. Paint one more swatch. I don't know if you can hear this on the audio, but it's, I'm in my studio right now and it is raining. It's raining pretty hard. Man, I could hear the raindrops hitting the rooftop. Anyway, okay, so that's that one. Let me stop this for a second. Okay, so now I'm going to match that. And so from here to here, obviously this is lighter in value than that, so I just added some more white to what I had mixed earlier. I hope you can see this. Let me see if I can show. So here it is right here. And here's my little test paper. Lay it down. And let's say if you're satisfied with that, then that's good. Then move this aside. Bring back my swatch sheet. And ooh, I almost forgot something. I almost forgot to, I just wanted to paint this cleanly for you guys. So let me do that right now. I'm gonna lay down some our trusty removable tape. And then I'm going to come back and paint this. Once again, rotating my brush. There we go. Done. Now let that dry. This is going to be my my foreground column. And keeping in mind, I'm only going to paint 3. But if you need to have more colors, you should do that. You should find more stuff to match. Okay, so I'm going to stop it. Okay, so I'm still matching colors, but I'm moving on to my my background color scheme. And so this is going to be green, and so I've added yellow and blue to this. And here's my little trusty test sheet. Lay it down. Okay, good. I'm going to use that. Set that aside. Come back to my swatches. And go ahead and paint. Go ahead and paint a swatch. Here we go. Rotate the brush. Actually, this is a little bit too thick. But it's okay. I'm glad that you could see this, because sometimes, you know, you need to see the good things and the bad things. Okay, that's that. Well, should let that dry. And then off camera, I'm going to paint the other 2. You don't have to see me do every single one, but I think you get the idea what I'm shooting for. Okay, you can see that I'm continuing painting some of the swatches, and wanted to emphasize that you can have, by default, you can have grayscale in here if you want. So this is, I'm going to paint this black right here as a reminder for you students that you can use grayscale if it's going to help you. Okay, I'm going to stop the video. Okay, so here are my painted swatches. In your case, they will be 1x2s, and make sure that you save these. Make sure to save these. These are show the, by default, you know, you could have black and white if you want, and also grayscale if you would like. And this is the foreground color palette, and this is going to be the complement of the background, which is the background in this case is analogous, and yeah, background analogous. And to refresh your memories, this will be the foreground, and this will be the background. And I want to emphasize to you that I chose this color scheme, but you don't have to use this if you don't want to. You refer to your color wheel, because maybe you're going to do something like this. Maybe this is going to be a foreground, and this could be like the background, or maybe it's going to be in this kind of a range right here, go all the way across the opposite side of the color wheel, and you can work with this kind of a color scheme, that kind of a combination. You know, it's really up to you. But in my case, this is what I chose. Okay. Okay, so you can see that I've been painting on it a little bit longer. And let me just finish it up for you folks. Actually, this is going pretty quickly. I haven't not really spending that much time on it, which is good, right? It's a painted study. Just enough to give me a preview for myself on what to expect. Okay, so that's that part. And I think I need to paint some more, a few more details, because the details are part of the narrative on this thing. And these are like spaceships, kind of picking up people in their in their beams. That's part of the concept, or the narrative. And going quickly, as I should, because it is, after all, just a study. And if you want to, you can use grayscale or black and white in addition to your foreground color and your analogous color scheme in the back. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Maybe a little things over here too. Actually, maybe I could define this edge of the picture plane by implying stuff that's heavily cropped. Okay, there we go. I guess that's it for that one. Okay, so here they are. The swatches, 1x2s, the 3x4 painted study, and the gouache painting. And when you turn this in, when you submit them, please take a picture of all of these things together and just upload to discussions the one photograph. Let's see, what else can I add to this? Oh, as a reminder, this is done at a smaller scale for efficiency's sake. It's not the true size that you students will be doing. Just a little bit smaller, but not a big deal. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Just wanted to say background analogous, and then the complement to the background in the foreground. In this case, it happens to be red. And by default, you could add a grayscale to it if you need to. Okay, I think that's it.